Hello everyone, welcome back to In the Tab. In today's video, I want to show you how I use AI prompts to extract keywords from job descriptions to improve your resume. I've gone ahead and recorded myself editing a resume draft for an instructional aid position. My goal is to show you how I quickly modify this resume to be a good match for this position in less than 20 minutes. The goal is to walk you through it as quickly as possible, so let's get started. All right, so let's get started. Right here, we have an instructional aid position for Ed Novate in LA. Pay is around $20 to $30. And here we can see that there's a lot of information about benefits, job description, and responsibilities. But I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not reading through all of this information. If you're short on time, if you have another job, if you have kids, or even if you're trying to mass apply to positions, trying to read through all of this information will take time. So, instead, I'm going to use the prompt that I provided in my last video. I'm going to go ahead and put it into Claude, as you can see here, and then I'm going to edit the information as follows. So I'm changing this title to the corresponding job description, which will be instructional aid. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy that information, and I'll paste it in my chat. Then I'm going to modify the industry skills or expertise section. So here I wanted to specify some information about the role. So here you are an expert in instructional aid for K through 12 grade school education. And then I'm going to go ahead and continue editing this field here as listed. So then we're going to say you have all of the appropriate experience, licenses, and degrees to run any lesson, project, assignment, and responsibilities associated with an instructional aid position. All right, so now that I've inputted all of the relevant information into my prompt, I'm going to go ahead and submit it, and I'm going to let my AI chat reply. Again, I'm doing this in real time, so I'm kind of just waiting for Claude to reply, and I'm taking some time to read through that job description. And now I'm going to go ahead and copy this second prompt, which is pretty much says, here's a copy of the job description that I found interesting. So Claude replied. I'm not going to read what it says, but cool. Pretty much priming the AI. And I'm going to go ahead and copy that prompt, and then I'm going to copy the relevant job description. Now, notice that I'm not copying anything about benefits or any of that other additional information. I'm just copying the roles and responsibilities and position overview. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into my chat. Here's a copy of the job description that I found interesting, along with the position overview. And I'm going to go ahead and wait to see what Claude says. All right, sweet. Claude is replying, and it is now giving me the list of the top 10 ATS keywords related to this position. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it know that I have a resume draft. So this prompt says, okay, I have a resume draft. I'm not sure exactly how my skills fit with it, but I'd really appreciate your help so I can figure that out. So I'll go ahead and paste that in there, and I'll wait for Claude to reply. And because I already have a draft of my resume ready to roll, I will go ahead and copy this, and then I will go ahead and paste it in my chat. Now, as you guys can see, I'm doing this in real time. If you have a resume that's ready to roll, hopefully these prompts can help you as you try to streamline the application process. Nice. So here we have Claude replying and giving me some feedback based off of my resume draft. It's giving me information about my skills. It's giving me some feedback on how I can reword some of my bullet points, some suggestions, and just giving me some context for what is working and what is not working. Again, remember, We've prompted the AI from the very beginning of the conversation to have the persona of a mentor. So this mentor, quote unquote mentor, is going to be giving us feedback on how to best improve our resume for this particular position. Okay, so as you guys can see, I am copying and I am pasting the information that Claude, my chat, is providing for me. So I'm copying the recommended bullet point that it's providing, and I'm pasting it directly onto my resume. Do I recommend that you do this? No, no, I do not, because you want to make sure that your bullet points are unique and they have metrics tailored to your specific skill set. So, with that being said, disclaimer, probably not a good idea to do exactly what I'm doing here, but for the purposes of the video and just to show you how quickly you can run through this process, I am showing you here that I'm just copying from the chat, pasting onto the resume. And my reason for doing this is because I want to show you how to effectively match your resume skill set to the job description. So, again, disclaimer, do not do what I'm doing here. This is just for the video. Please tailor your bullet points to your specific skill set. Make sure you guys are including metrics so that it's effective uh, for what you do know and for what you want to do. And as you can see, I'm finishing up here with the last job position for this particular resume. I'm updating those bullet points here, as you can see. And again, I am not reading through this resume. I am just copying and pasting as quickly as possible. And so now I'm going to move on to the next portion, which is my fourth prompt. Okay, so now that I've updated my resume and I'm going to pretend that I've added a lot of metrics to tailor my skill set to the job description, I'm going to go ahead and do the next prompt, which is something to the effect of, hey, I've updated my resume in my own words and would like your opinion on what I wrote. Can you please help me match my resume to the 10 ATS words that you find in the job description? So I'm going to go ahead and copy my updated resume and I'm going to go ahead and paste it into the chat. As you can see, Claude is now giving me some feedback. So it's giving me what I'm doing right, what I'm missing, what I need to fix, and it's giving me a lot of information on my resume draft. So it gave me some feedback on things that I'm missing. For example, instructional assistant versus academic support. Those are some keywords that the AI recommended that I integrate into my resume draft. So here I'm just showing you how I'm doing that. Classroom management, that was the second recommendation that I should add. So once I know that I need to add that into my resume, I could just press Control Find on my resume draft, see if I have that keyword anywhere, or I could just type it in, as you see here in the screen. Cool. So now, as I continue editing, I'm just going to keep reading through what the chat is, like the information that the chat is providing. And as you can see, there's a lot of feedback that the AI can give you once it takes on the persona of a mentor. But once I've updated my resume, I'll go ahead and recopy that same prompt, which is pretty much saying, "Hey, I updated my resume. Give me some feedback on it." And I'll go ahead and copy my quote unquote updates. I'll paste it in the chat, and then we'll redo that whole process again. So the nice thing is, I don't know if you see here, but it's pretty much saying you're still saying instructional support specialist at LA Unified School District, but you're applying to Ed Novate. So I love the fact that I'm showing you here in real time that Claude is catching on to mistakes and to real time updates that I'm making to the resume draft. So it gave me some information. It reminded me, hey, you need to change the title and the company that you're applying to. Otherwise, it's going to seem like you're mass applying and that you're not paying attention to tailoring your resume to that job. So I love that I can show you that here, how it's giving me real time feedback as I'm updating this, pretty much as I go. And again, I'm not reading through this as carefully as I should. I'm just speed running this resume draft for the sake of the video. So I'm glad that I can actually show you how the AI can help you once you take your time and the level of detail that it can provide for you. Sweet. So I've gone ahead. I've made that correction. Now I'm gonna go ahead, copy it, paste it again. It's sending me a reply. Cool. Whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and paste that and submit it. And now it's giving me some feedback. So it's giving me a checklist of the skills that I am meeting, and it's still giving me some feedback. So skills section still needs to be updated, and it's giving me some suggestions on what I can update in terms of skills, information that I can add to the resume. So I'll go ahead and copy that. I'll paste it if it's relevant. Sweet. And just format painting everything so that it's pretty uniform. Ah, another part of resume drafts, I personally, my rule of thumb is to have one page. So I will delete bullet points or even job descriptions if I feel that it's going over that one page mark. So here I am editing that in real time. I'm deleting a bullet point, and I'm gonna see if Claude recommends that I delete that bullet point, or if I remove, or if I should remove a different job uh, that I have listed. So now I'm adding this question to the chat, which pretty much says, made some slight changes. What are your thoughts? And I'm pasting my updated job description into the chat. So I'm going to wait for some feedback. So here's a really great example. It's giving me an update, or not update, but I guess it's opinion on the missing bullet point that I deleted. It's recommending that I do reintegrate that back into the job description because the AI feels that the information that I deleted is very strongly relevant to the position. So now that I have that feedback, I'm going to edit this and I'm going to delete the position that I feel is least relevant. And I'm going to go ahead and update that and submit that through Claude to get some more feedback on the changes that I've made. All right, so with all that being said, there are additional prompts that I like to use sometimes if I want to create metrics from my own personal records as I job search. Some of these prompts I'll use to check hard skills, soft skills, and other skills or keywords that are relevant to the job. So here in this prompt, I'm pretty much asking it, I'm not asking about ATS keywords. I am now asking the AI with this prompt to analyze the different types of skills that are ATS friendly, but that are also relevant for this job. And then once I find out what the hard skills, soft skills, and miscellaneous skills are, I'll go ahead and prompt the chat to compare the order number of the keywords, the keyword from the job description and how it's found in my resume, the category or skill type, meaning hard skill, soft skill, miscellaneous. And then I'll ask it to give me a percent and probability of how this keyword is making a good impact on my resume. And what I love about this specific prompt is that the Claude will literally create a table and it will show you all of this information, and it'll even create a keyword density summary as you kind of work through the terminology that's in your resume in comparison to the job description. So as you can see here, even though my hard skills are very strong, my soft skills and other skills are very weak. So which is a disadvantage to me because if I have a lot of hard skills and I know the terminology for the job description, but I can't show that I have initiative or leadership or teamwork or collaborative skills, which are considered soft skills, then I might not even be a good culture fit, right? So maybe on the technical aspect of the position, I may be a strong fit, but in terms of the culture of the company, if I'm not a strong fit, then might get looked over. Now, this particular website, JobScan, was recommended to me online. And to my understanding, it is a website that uses some kind of AI tool to compare your job description and your resume. So, as you can see here, it's very simple. You can upload either a file of your resume or you could just copy and paste it, just like I did here. Then you can copy and paste your job description into this description box here, and it'll give you an option to scan both and begin comparing the two documents. So I like to use both my personal AI chat and I like to use a tool or a website like JobScan to just make sure that I'm on the right track and that different AI chats or models are seeing the same problems or the same strengths in my resume and my job description. And what I like about this website is that there are tips on formatting. There's metrics on searchability, hard skills, soft skills. There are recruiter tips that it can provide for you and give you a more in-depth knowledge on how your resume is tailored to the job description. As you may have noticed, the prompts that I use for myself through Claude kind of hit on very similar points, which would be, the analysis of hard skills, soft skills, relevant skills. But I feel that sometimes these AI tools have more specific prompts, or there's a way that they automate their, I guess, job description comparison to the resume. And I guess it's just more effective. I'm not entirely sure. I can't really speak on that, but I use both in tandem while I do my job searching, or if I'm helping friends with their job search as well. Something that I really like about JobScan is that it will give you a percent match. So, in other words, it will pretty much give you a percent or a score on how well your job description is compatible with your resume. So, what I've done here on my personal chat is if you don't want to pay for JobScan and if you don't want to use JobScan and you just want to keep using your own AI, just go ahead and type in a prompt that pretty much asks, hey, can you rate my resume? Can you give me a percent match or score to see how well my resume stacks up to this job description? So here you can see it's given me a score of 78%, which is similar to the score that I received on JobScan, which was, I think, 75. Um, so up to you, whatever tool you want to use or whatever's more effective for you. All right, this video has been long enough, so thank you so much for watching. I hope that the information that I've provided here helps, and like always, I'll go ahead and paste and post the prompts that I've used in the chat or somewhere in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you feel like the information can be helpful to anyone, please feel free to share. I hope that this helps you kind of navigate the job search and to make your life easier. And I hope that if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I do plan on reading them. And that's it. Thanks so much. Have a good day, guys.